Hello and welcome once more to the Bench Report. You're listening to Amy and Ivan.
Our final episode this week on the workings of the UK Parliament concerns ministerial compliance.
And the material you shared focuses on a key principle. When government policy announcements should, ideally be made to Parliament first.
Exactly. The rule is actually found in paragraph 9.1 of the Ministerial Code. That's sort of the official handbook for ministers.
Right.
And it says quite clearly that when Parliament is sitting, the really important announcements, the big policy shifts, should be made there first.
Usually through what's called an oral statement.
That's the typical way, yes. It allows MPs to, question the minister straight away.
And this isn't just some dry procedural point, is it? It feels like it's really about accountability, about where power lies.
It absolutely is. It determines who hears the government's plans first. Is it Parliament, where ministers face immediate questions, or, is it announced elsewhere first, maybe to the media?
And the material shows there's quite a debate on whether the government is sticking to this rule consistently.
Definitely. So, if we look at the government's perspective, presented by the leader of the House,
Okay.
they emphasize a commitment to this principle. They point to the numbers, saying this session has seen 146 oral statements in 133 sitting days.
Wow, that's more than one a day on average.
Yes, and they note that's actually more than the previous government managed in their last session. Specific examples are given too.
Like the ones on prison capacity and defense spending, the material said those went to the House first.
Correct. Before the media got them. And the argument is also made that compliance isn't just about these oral statements.
So there are other ways they inform Parliament.
Yes, things like written statements, apparently 633 so far this session, plus appearances before select committees and, thousands of written answers to MPs' questions.
Okay, so a broader picture of communication. But they do acknowledge some difficulties.
They do. Practical constraints are mentioned. Balancing parliamentary time, sometimes announcements, they just emerge late in the day or perhaps when the House isn't even sitting.
And the point about complex documents, like that immigration white paper needing time for MPs to digest.
Exactly. Giving members time to actually read something substantial before questioning. And sometimes international events, like timings around the U.S. trade deal talks, are genuinely outside their direct control.
So the government position seems to be, we're doing our best to comply within practical realities.
That's the gist of their side, yes. Adherence balanced with pragmatism.
Okay, but then there's the other side of the coin. The critics. What does the material say about their view?
Well, critics argue this commitment isn't always evident. They see, or claim to see, a pattern of important policies not being announced to the House first, even when it was sitting.
And they have examples.
Oh, yes. The handling of the UK-US trade agreement statement last Thursday is cited as a recent case causing procedural friction.
I remember reading about that. What else?
There's the decision to abolish NHS, England critics say, that was floating around the media before Parliament got the official word back in March.
Right. And the sustainable farming incentive. Canceled via the media the day before an urgent question in the House.
That's another example mentioned. Also, a North Sea energy consultation announced to the media on one day and only relayed to the House the next day.
Doesn't sound ideal for scrutiny.
No. And changes to refugee citizenship rules apparently hadn't been brought to the House by February. Plus, the Prime Minister announcing immigration white paper details in a speech on a Monday, when Parliament was sitting later that very day.
So, quite a list. And it covers fiscal rules, tuition fees, planning reforms, even a defense program leak.
Indeed. And the critics highlight that these instances often resulted in the Speaker who oversees proceedings having to, gently rebuke the government, pointing out the breach of convention.
Which underscores the point that it is a rule, not just a nice to have.
Exactly. Their core argument is that the Ministerial Code isn't just a suggestion. Ignoring it, they say, chips away at accountability and transparency. It makes it harder for MPs, and therefore the public, to properly examine what the government is doing.
And the excuse of being disorganized doesn't wash, especially over a year into a term.
That's the counter-argument presented, yes.
Yeah.
They're calling for the rule to be enforced more strongly, maybe even a review of how compliance is monitored and judged.
So this really isn't just about parliamentary procedure, it's fundamental.
It is. It forces us to ask, in today's incredibly fast-paced news environment, how do you strike the right balance? How do you ensure timely government communication while also upholding Parliament as the primary place for major policy announcements and, crucially, for holding power to account?
That question of balance is definitely the key takeaway here. Where does timely communication end and proper parliamentary scrutiny begin? Something for you to consider.
Absolutely.
As always, find us on social media at Bench Report UK. Get in touch with any topic important to you. Remember, politics is everyone's business. Take care.
Hello there, this is Tom, the producer of The Bench Report. Listener suggestions are vital to my mission of making politics more accessible and accountable. So, if you have an issue that's really important to you, personally or professionally, and want to know what those in power are doing about it, please get in touch via email or via our socials at Bench Report UK. I'll grab another coffee and start scanning those parliamentary archives.